Class 8 Geography. Chapter number 6, Major Crops and Agricultural Development. Hello everyone and welcome to Class 8 Geography. This video is the continuation of chapter Major Crops and Agricultural Development. Tea. Tea is an aromatic beverage commonly prepared by pouring hot or boiling water over the cured or fresh leaves of camellia, sinensis, an evergreen shrub native to East India. It is prepared from the leaves of a tropical shrub. It is native to the hill slopes of monsoon Asia. The cultivation of tea probably originated in Zhejiang Valley of China. It is one of the most popular drink in most of the British Commonwealth countries. Tea is a beverage crop which is grown on plantations. Now let's study what are the requirements of a tea plant. Tea plant requires sloping land to avoid any waterlogging. It requires the temperature of about 25 degrees Celsius and it requires the annual rainfall of about 250 cm well distributed throughout the year. The soil required for the cultivation of tea is deep, well-drained, fertile soil. For picking the leaves, cheap labor is needed. Tea picking is a skillful job which requires patience and judgment, which is usually done by women. Two tender leaves. Tender means the smaller leaves and the bud. They are usually plucked from each stem. This picking season is from March to December. And in India, tea leaves, they are plucked once in a fortnight. Whereas in China, the same process is done 3 or 4 times in a year. Now let's study the important tea producing countries of the world. Some of the main tea producing countries of the world are China, India, Sri Lanka, Kenya, Japan, Indonesia, and Bangladesh. Nowadays, modern methods are used to process the tea leaves. Proper rolling, fermenting, and blending of tea leaves gives it the required flavor. The next crop is coffee. Coffee is a popular beverage crop. It is obtained from the beans of coffee plant. Coffee plant is native of the highlands of southern Ethiopia. The name coffee has been derived from the highland district of Kaffa, where it was first found. Coffee is now a very popular drink. Coffee plant needs annual rainfall of about 150 to 250 centimeters and about 22 degrees Celsius of average temperature to grow. It requires well-drained, loamy soil with high content of humus, and it also requires shelter from direct sunlight. Now the countries where coffee is produced are Brazil, which is the largest producer and exporter of coffee in the world. Some other coffee producing countries in the world are Colombia, India, Angola, Ethiopia, Mexico, Cote d'Ivoire, and East Africa. USA is the largest importer of coffee in the world. Next topic is agricultural development. Now, what is agricultural development? Agricultural development means the efforts made to increase the farm products in order to meet the growing demand of the increasing population. Now, how the agricultural development can be achieved? There are various ways to achieve agricultural development. First is by increasing the cropped area, means more and more area is brought under cultivation of crops. Next method is multiple cropping, which means more than one crops are grown in a year. Third method is improving the irrigation facilities. Fourth, use of fertilizers and high yielding variety of seeds. And the last is mechanization of agriculture, which is considered as a very important aspect for agricultural development. Now moving ahead, we'll study about the agricultural farms in India and in USA, so that we can understand how the development of agriculture has taken place in a developing country and in a developed country. So let's continue. Firstly, we'll study about a farm in India. In India, about 75% of the population lives in villages, and the people in village, they are directly or indirectly depending upon agriculture. As we know that agriculture provides food for the human beings and also the raw material which is needed by the industries based on agriculture. We have selected a farm in Ganga Plains where the land level is fertile. Now let's study what are the features of agriculture in India. The first feature is that in India, in most of the places, subsistence agriculture is practiced. The farmer's family, they consume almost the entire produce, and very less or nothing is left with the farmer to sell in the market. The size of land or the land holding is very small. This is because of the law of inheritance. The land that belongs to the father is further divided among his sons and his daughters. This results in very small land holdings. In India, agriculture is totally depending upon monsoon rain, which is also uncertain and irregular. Most of the work in the farm is done with the help of plowing, irrigation, harvesting and threshing. And all this is mostly done with the help of the animals, or it is done by the farmers' family members. The production of the food crop is the top priority, means a farmer gives more priority to the production of food crops. The area under fodder crop is also very insignificant, means it is not fixed. Now there are some problems which are being faced by a farmer in India, and these are that a farmer in India cannot buy the agricultural inputs. The reason is that he is lacking with the funds or the money. So he has to borrow the money from a money lender or from the bank. He has to sell his produce immediately after harvest. The reason is that a farmer does not have proper facilities for storage. He has to depend on various cooperative societies. Now, what is cooperative society? Cooperative society is a voluntary association of the members whose main aim is welfare of the members. So, most of the time a farmer has to depend on these societies to meet his needs. In India, Green Revolution has brought about a change in agriculture in many ways, because Green Revolution focuses on introduction of high yielding variety of seeds. It has ensured enough and timely availability of water through irrigation. which has helped in increasing the production of crops. It has also focused on the adequate use of chemical fertilizers, use of pesticides, insecticides, and consolidation of land holdings. It has also focused on farm mechanization, means usage of more and more machines, and provision of agricultural credit on soft terms from the banks to the farmers, so that the farmers can carry out the agricultural activities on the basis of low credit. Some of the agricultural universities have also been set up in order to train the farmers. All this has helped not only in increasing the production but also in improving the general social and the economic condition of the farmers as well as their families in India. Moving ahead, now we will study about a farm in USA. As you all know, USA is a developed country and a prosperous country. So, in USA, there are large fertile plains and extensive grassland. The prairies of North America, which stretch from the Rocky Mountains in the west to the Great Lake in the east. They are located in the interior of the continent, and that is why they experience the continental type of climate. The natural environment in prairies is favorable for cultivation of the variety of crops like wheat, corn, oats, barley, rye, and oilseeds. This region also enjoys some benefits like the rolling plains. They are well drained and they are suitable for the extensive mechanized farming. Melting of snow also provides moisture to the soil, and the dark brown soil is full of humus and organic matter. The spring season is not very cold, and the summers they are also not very hot. The transcontinental railways connect this region with the other regions of the country where there is huge consumption as well as to the other port towns. The size of the farm is large, and almost all the work like plowing, sowing, harvesting, threshing and packing are done by machines. The farmers they have tractors, tillers, harrows, seed drills, and they combine harvesters. Now, what is a combined harvester? It's a machine that reaps, threshes, and sacks the crop in one operation. The farm in the prairies grassland has a size of about 1000 hectares. It is mainly owned and managed by the farmer and his family, and most of the work is done by machines, and due to this reason the labor is not employed. The farmers practice crop rotation in order to retain the fertility of the soil. Contour plowing and strip cropping is also practiced. Livestock is raised in order to increase or to supplement the income of the farmers. The farmers and his family, they live on the farm in a big house. There are separate sheds to keep the animals as well as to keep fodder and machines. There is a small workshop to maintain the machinery of the farm. The yield per hectare of land is moderate and per worker is quite high. The farmers they earn enough money to maintain their standard of living. So with this we come to an end of our last video as well as we come to an end of this chapter. Hope you all have understood the chapter. Thank you.